order to launch a ground conquest of Gaza is a death sentence for the hostages and will cause the fallen to be lost forever.
Tens of thousands of Israelis protest Netanyahu's Gaza offensive. They call him a traitor and enemy of the Jews. Hostage families accuse Netanyahu of abandoning loved ones now trapped in Gaza City. Amid growing international isolation, with Spain cutting arms ties and Gulf allies reconsidering accords, Netanyahu's political future teeters on collapse. On a tense and electric evening in Jerusalem, an unprecedented wave of outrage surged through the city. Tens of thousands of protesters converged outside Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's fortified residence on September 6th, in what became one of the largest demonstrations Israel has seen in years. Their voices rose as one, chanting a devastating accusation that cut through the silence of power, echoing into the darkness with relentless fury. "Traitor!" they shouted, their voices echoing off the buildings as families of the 48 remaining hostages held in Gaza delivered some of the harshest criticism Netanyahu has faced since October 7th. The most piercing moment came when Einav Zangauka, mother of hostage Matan Zangauka, took the stage.
The Jewish people have had many persecutors throughout history. Pharaoh, Haman, they carried out pogroms against us. But you, Benjamin Netanyahu, you rise above them all. Netanyahu, your only legacy is the massacre and failure of October 7th. My Matan is doing everything he can to survive in the Hamas tunnels. He is your legacy of abandonment.
The protest represented a significant shift, moving from the usual Tel Aviv demonstrations to Jerusalem itself, bringing the family's pain directly to Netanyahu's doorstep. The timing was deliberate, organised in response to the Israeli Defense Forces' controversial plan to take over Gaza City, despite widespread opposition from senior defense officials who warned such operations could endanger the remaining hostages. Vicky Cohen, mother of hostage Nimrod Cohen, issued a chilling warning to the Prime Minister.
If a hair on my Nimrod's head is harmed, I will make sure you don't have a minute of peace for the rest of your life.
Campaigners are calling for an end to the war in a diplomatic deal that would secure the release of the remaining captives.
And I think he doesn't realize that 80% of the citizens of Israel want a ceasefire and the return of all the hostages. And perhaps demonstrating today at his residence will make him realize, will make him see. I think it's criminal that we are still have 48 hostages, 20 of them hopefully still alive, and they must be brought home right away. And the government needs to resign. Get the hostages home and resign.
As families pleaded for their loved ones' safety, disturbing intelligence emerged that has deepened their fears. Channel 12 News reported that the families of hostages Alon Ohel and Guy Gilboa Dalal believe their sons were recently moved to Gaza City, directly into the path of the planned Israeli offensive. This information, gathered from former hostages who were previously held with them, suggests a calculated move by Hamas to either put the captives in harm's way or dissuade Israel from proceeding with the military operation. The implications are chilling for the families who have already endured nearly 2 years of uncertainty. According to the intelligence reports, other hostages may have also been relocated to Gaza City, creating what amounts to a human shield strategy that places the most vulnerable civilians directly in the crosshairs of Israeli military action. The military leadership finds itself in an impossible position. IDF Chief Eyal Zamir reportedly opposes the operation, but has determined that the political order to conquer the city is lawful, leaving him unable to resist the government's decision. This internal conflict within Israel's security establishment reflects the broader national division over how to proceed. The families have repeatedly called on the Israeli government and army chief to stop the capture of Gaza City.
We want the government, the cabinet, and the defense establishment, if you launch a ground conquest of Gaza, You will be leading to the murder of the hostages. The blood of the hostages will be on your hands. The order to launch a ground conquest of Gaza is a death sentence for the hostages and will cause the fallen to be lost forever.
Security officials have been contacting hostage families directly, warning them of the increased dangers their loved ones face. These conversations have revealed that military leaders favoured reaching a deal with Hamas instead of launching the offensive, but were overruled by political leadership. Anat Angrest, the mother of hostage Matan Angrest, revealed that defence officials recently contacted her to explain the escalating risks.
The Prime Minister decided to implement the Hannibal Protocol on my Matan, on all the hostages.
She was referencing the controversial military doctrine that prioritises preventing kidnappings even at the cost of Israeli lives. The international pressure on Netanyahu's government intensified significantly this week as Spain announced plans for a complete arms embargo against Israel, with Spanish officials considering declaring Netanyahu himself persona non grata. According to El País, Spanish Prime Minister Pedro Sánchez's government is working to impose a sweeping ban on all direct and indirect weapons deals with any Israeli public or private entity. The move represents a dramatic escalation from Spain's previous limited restrictions on arms sales. The proposed measures go beyond mere trade restrictions. Yolanda Díaz, founder of the left-wing Sumar Alliance, reportedly declared that her party is working on a comprehensive package to sever relations with the criminal Netanyahu regime. The plan includes declaring not only Netanyahu, but also Defense Minister Israel Katz, Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, and National Security Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir as persona non grata in Spain for their incitement to genocide, forced starvation, and ethnic cleansing. This diplomatic offensive from Madrid reflects growing European frustration with Israel's conduct in Gaza. Spain had already recognized Palestinian statehood in May 2024, joining Ireland and Norway in a coordinated move that infuriated Jerusalem. The Spanish government's escalation comes as Foreign Minister José Manuel Álvarez announced that Spain would request the immediate suspension of the European Union's cooperation deal with Israel and urge partners to impose their own arms embargoes. Speaking in Parliament, Sanchez went so far as to call Israel a genocidal state. The potential unraveling of the Abraham Accords moved closer to reality this week as Saudi Arabia reportedly gave the United Arab Emirates its blessing to reconsider normalization with Israel if West Bank annexation plans proceed. According to Israel's Khan news outlet, citing sources close to the Saudi royal family, Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and UAE President Mohammed bin Zayed discussed this scenario during their recent meeting in Riyadh. The Saudi press agency confirmed they addressed the latest developments in Palestine, among other matters. The source described a pullback from the Abraham Accords as a realistic option should Israel move towards annexation, fundamentally threatening the strategic realignment that has reshaped Middle Eastern politics since 2020. This development represents a potential catastrophe for Israeli foreign policy. The UAE originally agreed to normalise relations with Israel specifically in exchange for shelving West Bank annexation plans, in a deal that had Saudi Arabia's tacit support. Recent warnings from Abu Dhabi have reportedly alarmed Netanyahu to the point that annexation was removed from a Thursday cabinet meeting agenda, according to the Washington Post. The UAE has dispatched multiple warnings through official statements, media interviews, and diplomatic channels, all emphasizing the red lines around territorial expansion.